Have you ever considered that racism is deteriorating in America, even though we have all these civil rights movements? My name is Schneider, and I'm here to talk to you and inform you that racism is indeed deteriorating in the United States through the avenues of terrorism, the mental health care industry, and the construction industry. I want to talk to you about terrorism, specifically Islamic terrorism. 9/11 was the first time that the citizens of America experienced terrorism on a personal basis. A statistic from DeRozier said that 11.6% of Americans experienced clinical distress from this event. Also, DeRozier conducted a study that said there was over 746 fifth grade students, and the result of her study was in this graph right here. We can see it's that the Middle Eastern students is the outlier, and so basically this outlier represents that Middle Eastern students after 9/11 were not popular nor liked among most of the rest of the student population. And so we see that there's a generalization over America that even affects fifth grade students, that Americans think that almost all Muslims are terrorists, which in fact that's not true. It's only a very small percentage. Another way this can be seen is through my next image that I have. This is a mosque that I lived across, in which last week it was shot at 4 times in College Station. So this, which was conducted by someone who is, not relevant, attacked this mosque. And this can be seen as, a generalization that Muslims affect the community in a negative way, which results in terrorism towards them, or results in racism. So the next topic I want to talk to you about is the mental health care industry. So racism is not like it once was through segregation and slavery, but it's much more discreet. And so we all have the same laws, but we don't experience all the same benefits in society. I think the study of McKinsey and Bowie, they conducted a study with roughly 32,000 mental health care patients, and this was their results, is that blacks were treated much differently than any other race, and they were treated differently because they were given more drugs and less treatment than any other race. And so the result of this is probably bitterness in their heart, and this bitterness will affect their children, their family, and their friends, thus resulting in a movement of racism through the mental health care industry. So the last topic I want to speak to you about is the construction industry and racism. So as Taylor stated, that Mexican immigration, Mexicans come to the United States mainly due to jobs, and so they take mostly the construction jobs in America. So racism in the construction industry stems from the poverty in Mexico, and I want to explain this. I'm a worker in the construction industry, and I work with a black and white guy. I'm going to try and make their life, I'm going to be racist towards them so that one of them will quit. I want to make their life miserable. So I can bring one of my family members, brother, cousin, uncle, or family, like anyone else, so they can replace that person's job. And so this is how racism is conducted in the construction industries. It's I'm going to hurt you so I can help. I can bring my buddy who's my own race to fill that position. So this is how racism is deteriorating in America through the industry of construction. Lastly, I want to talk about an opposing view through an article that James Steele wrote, and this is about the election of the 2008 Barack Obama administration. He stated that at the University of South Carolina, black and white students banded together, held signs that said race doesn't matter. And so the state still uses this in saying that because we have a black president and we have black and white students banding together for a political cause, that racism is indeed decreasing in America. And so this is Steele's point, is those two avenues, that is how racism is coming down or coming to an end. So in conclusion, I've talked to you. I've spoken of terrorism, I've spoken of the mental health care industry, and I've spoken of the construction industry and racism. So although there's much good happening, racism is coming down. Overwhelming evidence through those 3 avenues is that racism actually is deteriorating. So I want to thank you for sitting and listening and letting me inform you of racism in America. Thank you.